Good morning, sir.
Is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, in the last class I have been discussed about the functions, different aspects of the functions: function declaration, function call, function definition. What is meant by that things? What is the syntax of that three things: function declaration, function call, and function definition. And this is one of the important topic. Almost in a entire C language, the function concept is an important, because further topics, whatever the topics in next things will be purely based on the functions only. The programs will be written by using the functions only. Okay, already I have told that types of the functions. There are two types of the functions in the programming. One is called the library function. Second is called the user-defined function. What is difference between that? How to define a user-defined? What is meant by the library functions? Where we have to, where already they have been predefined things in the header file. They have been defined. Just only we need to invoke that things for the our operation. Okay, already I have told that what is meant by return type. The AC function may or may not return a value from the function. If you do not have to return any value from the function, use void, void. Void is the return nothing. Void nothing but is a return nothing for a return type. Already we have been told, I have told that it's void hello, just print hello, see. Yes, it is simply prints, it is returns nothing. If you want to return any value from the function, you need to use any data type such as an int, long, character, float, like that. The return type depends on the value to be returned from the function. Already have been discussed these things. Okay, here in this example, return integer int get within open bracket, get within open close bracket. Here return 10. 10 is an integer type. 10 here return type followed by the function name. Okay, it is called the function definition. It is called the function definition. In this function definition, you should have a function before function name. You should return type should be defined. That is the syntax of the defining the function. Okay, int it is a return type. Get is a function name. Within the open bracket close bracket, you may not have any arguments. We'll see that later, that what are the different arguments can be passed through that things. Okay, here return 10. 10 is passed, integer type, return back to the some location where you have defined. Okay, next in place of 10, if you want to be a floating point, first you have to define a floating point type, then you can return that floating point value. Okay, here that's just say here methods of parameter passing. Methods of parameter passing. There are the two types of the passing a parameter. One is called the call by reference. First type is called the call by reference. Here there are the two types are there. Methods of parameter passing. One is called the call by reference. One is called the call by reference. Second is called call by value. We can pass the parameters. One is called by call by reference. Second is called by call by values. When you have been used a call by reference, this call by reference in this method of a parameter passing, original value of variables are passed from the calling program to the function. Okay, here from the main program, subprogram, we are passing the value, same original values itself. Thus, any change made in the function can be reflected back to the calling function. Whatever things we all will updating, that will be changes made in the particular variable. That is called the call by reference. Original values of the variable. Just simply here we will call by the reference is through the address. Reference, nothing but we are referring to the address of that variable. Next is call by value. Only that variable value, that is in this method of a parameter passing, duplicate value of parameters are passed from the calling program to the function definition. Only we are passing the value. We are not changing that variable in the main program. That variables can be updated, that can be written back to the main program. Okay. Thus, any change made in the function would not be reflected back to the calling function. Calling function is the main function, main program. Called is the subprogram. Called is the subprogram. Calling is the main program. Calling anedi main program lo untundi. Called is the subprogram. There is difference between the calling program and called program. Okay, first we'll go for the call by value. In the call by value, copy actual argument is passed to the formal arguments and the operation is done on the formal arguments. Okay, whatever the operation is through the formal argument. What is meant by that? We'll see that later. Just we'll take an example. What is meant by the formal argument? Okay, actual arguments. Second is called the formal argument. Here we have the two things. In the call by value, we have the two things. One is called the actual arguments, actual variables. Second is called formal argument, that is formal variables. We'll see that these difference, how will be used, how to pass a value. Call by value. When the function is called by the call by value, when the function is called by call by value method, it does not affect contents of the actual arguments. Actual argument will not be reflected, will not be changed. Here two things are there. One is called the actual argument. Second is called the formal argument. Only changes made in the formal argument. Changes are made to the formal argument are local to the block of the called function. So when they control back to the calling function, the change is made vanished. It will not be reflected back to the calling function. Let's see here one example. Here it is called the call by value. Here it is called the declaration. The declaration part, change within bracket. First, if you use a void change within bracket, open bracket, close bracket, int. That is a passing a parameter. Type is called integer. Passing parameters is type of the integer. We are passing it two parameters. Okay, void main, then int xy. Xy are the two integer type. Enter the two values. Enter the two values and scanf %d at the rate at the ampersand x ampersand y. It is for the reading the value and store into the variable x and y. Read the value, whatever the type, enter the value, whatever you have entered value, it will be stored in x and y simply. Then we are calling. It is called the calling. We are passing these values x and y, whatever the value you have entered. For example, you have entered values are 12 and 23. That 12 and 23 are there in the x and y. 12 and 23 are there in the x and y. In the x 12 and y 23. These values are passed to the pass this value, call by value. We are calling by the value. These values are passed. This x value is passed to the A argument, and this y value is passed to the B argument. We can use same names or different names in the change followed by the int A, int B. These arguments, whatever the variables you are defined here, change variable is an integer type. Okay, first we have to use a return type followed by the change int A, int B. Here, this value, whatever the value, x value is copied to the A, then this value, whatever the value here, y value is copied to the value is passed to the B. Okay, here we have used one more variable called int k. Just A value is passed to the k. That k contains simply 12, and B value is copied to the A. That is, B value is copied to the A value is then 23. Then k value back to the B. K is back to the B. K is 12. 12 is here. If we use a print statement here, print AB, then automatically it prints the value is, printing value is, first A is 23, followed by the B's value is 12. Then you use here print statement. Once this operation is completed, it will go back to the, it will not return the value back to the, here we have not returned any value to the change made. Whatever change made, it is not returning. Only we are calling by the value, We are calling, but it is called, these argument is called the actual arguments. X and Y are called the actual arguments. X and Y are called the actual arguments. A and B are called the A, int B. These are called the formal arguments. The updation is locally in the called function. It will not be in reflect, these whatever the values you have been changed, it will not be in reflecting back to the X and Y. The X and Y value will be same as it is. There is no change in the X and Y values. The changes are made in the locally, that is formal arguments. These are called the arguments, passing a value through the formal arguments. Then if you print the value of X, %d, and value of Y, %d, X and Y, then the values will be same. It will not be changes. These values will not reflect back to the here. The changes are there in the A and B. If you use here print statement, use here print statement, then printf statement, that formal arguments, that values A and B are at the %d, comma A and B, then it prints the value. A is the 23 and B is the 12. But these values will not be, A and B values will not copy back to the X and Y. Okay, that is meaning of this thing is called the call by value. Call by value is, in this call by value, copy the actual arguments, copy the X and Y arguments, is passed to the formal arguments. Formal arguments are the int A and B. This copies the value, and the operation is done on the formal arguments. That is, only the operation will be performed on the A and B. When the function is called by call by value method, it does not affect the content of the actual argument. That is, X and Y values will not be reflected, affected. Changes are made to the formal arguments. The changes only to the formal arguments are local to the block of the called function. That is subfunction. That is subroutine function. So when the control back to the calling function, that is main function, the changes made is vanished. Okay, that is about the call by value. Second is called the call by reference. Here, in this case, call by reference, instead of passing the value of the variable, Here, value of the variable, we are pass the address. That is, address is nothing but the reference, the location. Just simply we are passing the location of that variable is passed, and the function operates on that address of the variable rather than the value. Here we are updating the address location. We are changing the, in that address value is present. In that address value is present. We are referring the reference. Reference is given through the address, not with any value. Here formal arguments is alter the actual argument. It means formal arguments calls the actual arguments. Here whatever changes made in the formal argument, it also reflects on the actual arguments also. Okay, we'll see one example. Here just see the int change, int star. We'll see later this the star indication. It's in a pointer. This pointer is meant for the reference. It is uses for the address. It is for the star. We will go for the fourth model. We have a pointer. In that pointer, we'll deal in detail this star. Okay, here int a and b, enter the two numbers a and b values. Okay, here the function call change, it is a at the address of a and at the address of b. We are loading the, instead of passing a value, we are pass the address of the variable instead of the values. Whatever value you have entered, for example, say I have entered a 12 and 32. These values need a some point, some address. These values are stored in some location. These values are stored in some location. Say I have loaded these values in the 1000 location. Say if it is an integer type, 2 bytes. Next consecutive location, that is 1002 location, the 32 value. The value in this 100 12 has been stored, and in the location, this is called the 100 is a location, it is an address. In this address, the value is 12, and 1002 it is an address. In this address, the value is 32. Okay, here when you use a at the address ampersand a ampersand b, it indicates that I have copying the address to the here. The pointer, it points to the address. Simply you are passing this 1000 to a, 100 to b. The indication here. Just wait a minute. Okay, here you are passing the address of a, that is 1000 to the star indicates pointer, pointing to the address. It is pointing to the 1000, and this indicates that here also you are copying address, that is 1002 and 1001. Here this indicates that here int k, we are copying that pointer, it pointing to the address 1000. This is the pointing to the 1000, whatever the value is present in this 1000 is copied to the 1000. The value data is 12. This 12 is copied to the k. Similarly, this indicates that it's a pointer that is from the 100 location. In this location, data is 32 and 100 data is 12. Already this 12 have been copied to the k, and this indicates that this 32 value is copied to the this location. That location is 100. That means in the 100 data is 32. Okay, here in this there is no data at all. Corp is 00 null value we have been there. Then if we use k, k is already value is present, k is 12. This 12 is copied to the pointer. The star indicates address. In this address you have to load the value. That value in the 1002, the value is stored is 12. If you value print, value is this function, a is %d and %b, that is address. It is indicates the address a and address b. Here the value in this function a equal to 32 and b equal to 12. Okay, that is this points to the address. In this address the value is 32 and this b value is 12. The address, it is indicating the a pointer address location. Okay, a lo change and b lo change. When we come back after changing two values, a equal to %d and b equal to %b. Here after changing the value, actual value also changed. A and b values have been interchanged. When we have used call by value, the value will not be changes to the actual arguments. Here actual argument also changes. Here we are called by the reference. Reference is nothing but an address. We are called by the address. That address automatically data is stored in the address. We are updating in the address itself. For that reason, the values are being interchanged. The values will be reflecting. The value changes will be made in the both the formal argument as well as the actual argument. It reflects on the both the side, that is formal as well as the actual. So that here, instead of the passing a value of the variable, directly pass the address of the variable. We are passing the address. We are passing the location. Formal argument directly access the value and swap the swapping the is possible even after the calling the value. Okay. Already have been discussed about the different aspects of the function call. There are the without argument, with argument. Already I have told what is meant by argument, what is need to be passed in the argument, what is meant by written by value, without written value, with what is an argument, what is a written. I have told that things. Okay. In the coming classes, next class, maximum I will wind up this half model. Only probably I may not cover the recursion. In the next class, I will go for the simple one or two programs related to the call by that values only, call by value only. We are not. I have not been in this in your syllabus. There is no topic have been include call by reference. Only for your understanding purpose, I have told that things. In the syllabus, there is no call by reference. They have been specified, purely specified that call by values. For the call by reference, you should know the point. After that only, you will understand the call by reference in detail. Okay, I will explain the one simple program for the GCD, how it has been, how it works. Basically, there are the 4 to 5 programs, major programs. One is called GCD, second is called the factorial, third is called the sorting. Sorting is ascending order and descending order. There are the 3 different techniques are there. One is called the bubble sort, second is called the insertion sort, and one more is called bubble insertion. There are 3 different techniques are there. in the array. Sorting, bubble sort, selection sort and insertion sort. There are the three different techniques are there. We'll go in detail to that things probably after in the physical classes only. I will cover these things. Sorting is one of the important topic. Array lo sorting untundi. In the functions, we'll cover one more topic is called the storage class in the C. In the next class, I will explain this. Already these questions have been given in the mid exam. In the question bank is this question is present. For that reason, this topic I'll cover in the next class. Then on the Saturday class, I will revise the things for the purely objective questions, that is multiple choice question, as well as the question bank questions. Whatever the questions have been given in the question bank, I'll revise that things. If you have any doubts in that, you can ask on the Saturday. If you have any doubts, you can ask.